Good morning, gamers. Hello. Bit of a different video today, but not because I'm down here in the corner, but because I've seen a lot of arguments and debates about different samurai playstyles, and JoJo and I are tired of that shit. Y'all need to cut it out. Ad-hoc versus looping versus freestyling versus RDPS samurai versus ADPS samurai. It's a lot of buzzwords and honestly, a lot of bullshit. And if you're a new player that's trying to get into samurai or wanting to learn samurai, it's kind of difficult to sift through all the different factions of samurai players and figure out where do you need to start. So in this cool little video that you might enjoy, I'm going to explain where I believe you should start your journey as a samurai player. And if you end up liking this video or it helps you, you could possibly click the little subscribe button down there. That would be pretty cool of you. Look, samurai is a pretty flexible job with regards to playstyle. Some playstyles suit more selfish players, some playstyles fit more selfless players. Some playstyle suits the player that want to just collect stickers and throw them out the window every couple of seconds, like me. But before we start getting into the weeds of what's optimal and that's a 10 potency loss and blah blah blah, let's take a step back and focus on the basics. If you go to the Samurai Resource text channel in the Balance Discord and you look under the rotation section, you'll find a link to the visual guide, which will pull up this image that I have on my screen here. This is literally the bread and butter of playing samurai. If you can learn the fundamentals and main ideas of this visual guide, you will be well on your way to becoming a great samurai player. So let's take a step back, no matter what level of samurai player you are, and understand why this is constructed the way that it is. And let's really learn what this is trying to say. And I'd like to start down here at the bottom where we have the simple full loop section. So these are the main building blocks and ideologies behind how we're going to construct a rotation in a fight as a samurai player. You'll go through an opener, and once that's finished, you'll step into your cooldown phase. Once you get through your cooldown phase and that's finished, you'll go into your odd minute burst window. Once your odd minute burst window is finished, you'll go through a cooldown phase and some filler before entering your even minute burst window. And once you finish your even minute burst window, you'll go through your cooldown phase and go back to your odd minute burst window before repeating through the same cycle over and over again. That is the basic idea and principle of how we construct a rotation as a samurai. Now, all of those basic building blocks or steps that you go through in this flowchart are listed above that in this visual guide. Starting with the opener at the top, you'll work through this left to right. Once you finish the opener, you'll go through your cooldown phase, again working through this left to right. Once your cooldown phase is over, we'll work into our odd minute burst window, which again we'll work through left to right. And once we exit our odd minute burst window, we go into our cooldown phase. Now remember, we're between the odd minute burst window and the even minute burst window right now. So we're down here where we have filler plus cooldown. So all you're going to do is go through your cooldown phase and you're going to add a filler in addition to all these other GCDs somewhere within this window before we go into our 2-minute burst window. So at the recommended 2.15 GCD, which is currently listed as the best in slot gear for Samurai in patch 6.2, we will want to do a 2 GCD filler, as that is what will allow us to align our even minute burst window properly. So we go through our cooldown phase with the addition of a 2 GCD filler, and then we will go through our even minute burst window. And once we're finished with our even minute burst window, we go back into our cooldown phase. We'll go back into our odd minute burst window. We'll go back through another cooldown phase with a filler, and then we'll go back into an even minute burst window. And we continue to repeat this cycle over and over and over again. Now there are some caveats to this. And if you've played Samurai for a little bit, you've probably already recognized some of these caveats, but may not understand what's really going on. If you follow the exact steps that we just discussed, and you go through your opener, and you go through your cooldown phase, and you go through an odd minute burst window, and you go through the cooldown phase with the addition of a 2 GCD filler, you will notice at the even minute burst window that you are behind 1 GCD. So let's talk about why you're behind 1 GCD. When we look at the opener for Samurai, the opener doesn't really start back here. I mean, it literally starts back here at this gecko, but in reality it really starts at this Madare, and it also doesn't end at this Kaishi Setsugeka. It really ends at this Madare Setsugeka. Now if we focus on those GCDs from this Madare Setsugeka to this Madare Setsugeka, you'll notice that this is the exact same GCD layout that happens in the even minute burst window. The end of the opener burst window has an extra GCD here, the Kaishi Setsugeka. Whereas if you look at the even minute burst window, there is no Kaishi Setsugeka at the end of this burst window. And that Kaishi Setsugeka in the opener is very important if you're potting in the opener, because you want that Kaishi Setsugeka under your pot. But that Kaishi Setsugeka acts as a filler in and of itself. So in reality, what you should do at a 2.15 GCD is go through the opener, go through your cooldown phase, go through your odd minute burst window, but hold on to this Kaishi Setsugeka in the first odd minute burst window. Again, assuming that you're potting in the opener and you're adding this Kaishi Setsugeka to your opener. And what that will do is take away a GCD that you were ahead by from the opener second Kaishi Setsugeka and allow you to do a 2 GCD filler before your even minute burst window and align properly. If for whatever reason you did want to keep this Kaishi Setsugeka in the first odd minute burst window, you can. But keep in mind, if you do a Hikaze, Yukikaze, Hagakure filler in between the 1 minute and 2 minute burst window, and you follow this loop as listed, you will be 1 GCD behind. So what you could do instead is you could do a Yaten NP filler instead of a Hikaze, Yukikaze, Hagakure filler before your 2 minute window, and surprise, you'll be realigned. There are pros and cons to both situations, and again, I don't want to get us caught up in the weeds. I want us to understand the full picture. But these are some noteworthy things that I think Samurai players should understand, and questions I get asked all the time about why people are ahead or behind a GCD. And it ultimately comes down to, do you know how much filler you're actually using? So okay, you've got the opener down, you understand you're using an extra GCD with the Kaishi in the opener, you go through your cooldown phase, you go through your odd minute burst window, you do your cooldown phase again, you do your filler, you do your even minute burst window at the 2 minutes. Now you've set yourself in a position to continually cycle through this back half of the flow chart. So you exit the 2 minute even minute burst window, you go into your cooldown phase again, you go through your odd minute burst window, you go through your cooldown phase again, you add your filler in here somewhere, wherever you need it, and then we'll go back through the even minute burst window again, and we keep cycling through this over and over and over again. But what does this actually look like in the game, and how does this apply? Well, you're in luck, because I recorded a 6-minute pull of me hitting a target dummy that may or may not have taken me like 12 times to record properly. And I'll make sure to post a link to this video in the description so you can have it for your reference. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I've been asked this a lot of times, and this has been brought up in my stream the other day. I'm honestly not super inclined to make a video guide for Samurai, but if that's something that people are really interested in, let me know and maybe it'll happen. But for now, seriously utilize the information that is in the balance for Samurai. Boxer and his team have done a great job of laying out all the information there, putting it in a presentable manner, and I truly believe this is the best place to start if you're wanting to learn how to play Samurai properly. It's much easier, in my opinion, to build upon a solid foundation, and the visual guide will give you that foundation to build upon and get creative with Samurai's flexibility, which is what Ad-hoc and Freestyle are. So again, take a step back, learn the basics. I promise you it'll be worth it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop by my Discord server. I have a Ask Me Anything section in there, or you can message me directly. Or if you want to chat and hang out, feel free to drop by one of my Twitch streams. It would be much appreciated. But until next time, I hope you were able to learn something. And I hope this helps put you on your journey to becoming a better player. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video, and have a great day. Goodbye.